Welcome to episode 87 of the LOTD Pod, the Left of the Dial podcast. I'm Flick. The time worm from Richard Shirk brings us in, and that's my partner, Richard. How are you doing?
That's me. Yeah, I'm really good. I'm exceptionally good, and I feel even better after hearing my song played on this cool show. So thanks as always for choosing the time worm from my new album With Clairvoyance, available wherever fine records are sold or given away.
How much longer is it a new album?
I think the standard window is about a year.
Okay.
And
some
that
room
album
for
came
it.
out in October of 2020. But it's also kind of weird. Like I'm negotiating what the rules are about, October 2020 was obviously during the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, which is kind of easing a little bit for some. And it's like, yeah, I'm normally I at least get to cash in on like a generous club giving me a release show date. So see if I can defer that, right?
Yeah, I guess if you have until October.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you got some time to work with.
And it only came out digitally and on CD. So I'm trying to see if I can get enough people to get into this album so I can afford to press it on vinyl. So I think that would be sweet. So yes, please stream my
Or maybe
album.
maybe it'll be like the 10th anniversary vinyl edition.
Yeah, maybe I got some plans looking down the road. But yeah, I'm eternally grateful for everyone who's checked out With Clairvoyance and the two previous albums, Arcadia and Midnight Movies. It's been a really cool ride, and I'll keep you all posted about what's coming next because I'm trying to figure that out myself. But yeah, we're gathered here today for a very special show. This is show 87.
Yeah,
as you
this is
said,
not a wedding show in case
or a funeral.
that introduction. Yeah.
And today we're going to talk about Record Store Day. So, Flick, why is Record Store Day a thing?
Well, Record Store Day is a thing, I believe, and this is not really from research. This is just kind of from life, I guess. But I believe the idea behind Record Store Day was to revive, interest in the vinyl format and in buying the vinyl format at your local independent record stores. And I would say, and I think we're talking maybe what is around 10 years that was started.
That seems about right. Yes.
Okay. Seems like it would be longer ago, but I think it's actually like 10 years. And I think it's worked. I think over the time that Record Store Day has been a thing, independent record stores have been much more of a thing, and vinyl has been much more of a thing.
Yeah, that's so cool. And this year there are 2 weekends where you can pick up, limited edition, special release LPs, 45 and LPs. First date is June 12th, and second one is July 17th this year. And yeah, I think you're spot on about why this is important. It seemed like a little while ago that mom and pop record stores were really on the ropes once everyone figured out streaming. And I think it's even more important this year because not only did record stores take a big hit from quarantine and lockdown, but so did musicians. So the majority of a lot of the records that are coming out are from like pretty big names, but there are also a lot of people that are going to have this money go straight into their pocket, and so musicians have really had a tough time, no touring, which is where a lot of the money gets made these days. So yeah, I really invite everyone to take a look at this music nerd holiday and scope out their local shops. Flick, what's your local shop that, if you were to be participating in this day, you would recommend people to go to in your neck of the woods?
Okay, so Des Moines actually has a few. Yeah, one that should certainly be mentioned that we've mentioned before. That is certainly a participant, and I guess actually my go-to for most record store days has been the record collector in Iowa City.
Yeah,
Uh,
gotta represent record
yeah,
collector. Rest in peace, Kirk.
yeah. When I was living in Chicago, I would always make a point to go to Record Collector. Go to Iowa City to go to Record Collector on Record Store Day, because for one thing, the lines were much more manageable than any record store in Chicago. Doing it in Chicago, which I did probably 3 times. Um,
Like a Reckless or something?
Yeah, Reckless or Lori's Planet of Sound in Lincoln Square. You're talking like a minimum, and I don't want to discourage anybody from going to the record stores in Chicago on Record Store Day. Please do, but just know that you're going to be standing in line for a while, so you might want to get there super early. But they do keep it well stocked though, so that's a good thing. But yeah, it'd be good to go to Iowa City because the lines I would think would be more around the line around 20 minutes to actually get to the records.
Yeah, so
So
record collector in Iowa City is a pick for you. And then what about in Des Moines?
in Des Moines, the one place I've gone to on Record Store Day is, I believe you would say Records. It's just a series of Z's like somebody sleeping.
Yeah, I've never
I
known that. I've always I've only talked about it a few times out loud, but I've always called it Triple Z. And
yeah, I
I
don't
thought maybe it was like a
I
reference to
I've
independent
never
radio in Australia or
I
New
don't
Zealand.
know. I've never understood the name. I should just ask sometime, but I'll probably end up with the
You
one
should
person working at the store that has no idea
you should
where
call them and hang up
as
after they
soon
say,
as I get
"Hello,
the
this
answer,
is."
because I
Yeah.
do want to know. But yeah, and I went there a couple of years ago on records. Well, I guess I've gone there for a couple of record store days
Okay.
because
In the
now you have that extra record store day. So
in the chat, we've got someone saying it is perhaps ZZZ.
could be.
I think that's one of our international listeners. So props to
We
you. Thank
we
you.
we might have a Canadian record store owner here in Des Moines. I'm not sure. It's possible.
It's passable.
Which, by the way, the Rush song, should properly be said YYZ. Just Rush fans,
If you're out there,
no penalties for past transgressions, but you know, you should say YYZ. It's a
you heard
Rush.
it here first on Left of the Dial podcast.
But as far as the record store here, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the name. And there, I think, are 6 record stores participating here in Des Moines. So I guess I would have a lot to pick from this year.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, I have got some very cool like insider info from our friend Naomi at Mod Lang here in the Bay Area.
Which, by the way, I've been to Mod Lang, but I've never really been in the store because if you remember the last time I was there, I think this was Labor Day, and later on that day, you and I went to an Oakland A's game.
That's right. Yeah.
Early in the day, I thought, because this was back in the day where you would look at Google and they would say a store is open, and you would actually trust Google to know that a store might be open even on a holiday. So I went there and, got on the BART to go there and everything, and they were not open. So it didn't work out very well. But
regardless, it's a cool shop. It's in El Cerrito, and like you said, it's right by El Cerrito BART. So yeah, Modlang, check it out. They've been a really just a top record store here in the Bay Area since I don't even know, like ages and ages. They've really been around. They specialize in UK and Euro imports, indies, classics, and rare reissues, and are participating in Record Store Day. So
And
thanks, Naomi, for getting us the shop list.
and
Yeah,
and did they pull the name from the Big Star song?
I believe they did. Yeah.
Excellent. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to go there. Because I was
Yeah.
like, if they're gonna take a name from a Big Star song, I got to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I've known the shop owners since I was a kid, and have received some like really great life lessons from them about good music. And uh, I remember uh, talking to them about how much I like Blur when I was probably, I'd say, like 17 or 18, and they're like, "Oh, well, if you like them, you should really check out this album called English Settlement by XTC." And
Nice.
XTC is one of my favorite bands. One of my favorite albums is English Settlement. So props to the Mod Lang crew. So yeah, Mod Lang is great. Here in Oakland, over on 40th, we've got 1234 Go, which is a really amazing shop. Big fans of those guys. I am also oh gosh, got to represent Montreal. Some really great shops up there. Definitely
Z
recommend Adam
Z Z
Hart.
Z
What's that?
Z Z Z in Montreal.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so Adam Hart in Montreal. Those are good people up there. Um, and up in Portland, we've got Specs. Obviously, you gotta represent Specs. Props to my friend Nick O. They've been a great local shop for quite a few years, and probably have some cool Richard Shirk LPs in their cutout bin. So definitely get those. They're a bargain. They sound
What are you
great.
dropping? Are you dropping like a special 7 inch on Record Store Day?
Yeah, if you send me the money for the printing, yeah, no, I'm not dropping anything, but definitely I played in-store at Specs
Oh, cool.
probably close to 2 years ago now, and sent up a bunch of records, and no one really cared that much, so I think they still have a bunch of my records laying around. So definitely appreciate that chance. Uh, and then yeah, those are my main go-tos. I really haven't been haunting as many record stores lately, but definitely want to represent the ones that I have so much respect for.
Yeah, always, always. Yeah, keep the record stores alive, please.
Yeah, so before we get into any of our picks about Record Store Day releases, can I give you the lowdown from Naomi?
Sure.
Okay, so uh, uh, she says, and this is Naomi from Odd Lang. A big in demand record is the new Prince record, one of a few new Prince records coming out, which is called The Truth. Did you? I haven't caught up with episode 86 yet. Did you touch on this album?
No, not on that one. No, nothing that really. The only thing that we did cover was stuff from his lifetime.
Well, The Truth is a really. I haven't listened to it all the way through yet, but it's really cool. It's one of the rare instances of Prince doing just like a really like pared down acoustic record. I know there's piano and a microphone uh, live recordings, but this is really cool. And I want to say also that a lot of these picks that we're talking about, I've put onto a playlist, which is made public. It is called Record Store Day, Richard's Picks, LOTD Pod 87. It's public. Would you like to remind our listeners on how to find our associated playlists, Sean?
Okay, so if you go to your Spotify and you search LOTD Pod, one, you'll find our podcast among the podcasts. But also, if you look under profiles, you'll find our Spotify page, which has our numerous voluminous playlists from our whole run, which is over a year and a half worth now.
Cool. Wow, that's a lot.
That is a
Great.
lot.
Thank you for that. So yeah, definitely got some of these picks highlighted on that playlist. Naomi also wants to give she's excited about the Flaming Lips release, which is I guess a kind of rare album that came out in limited editions along with Soft Bulletin. So it's like the Soft Bulletin companion, which I guess contains some rarities from that era, as well as some kind of Zurika era cuts. We've got the Pleasure Is All Yours, which is a replacements release, which I guess is a lot of the material from the Pleased to Meet Me era.
Yeah, I looked at that one. I'm assuming that it isn't anything that wasn't on the box set that came out last year, but I might be surprised. Do you happen to know?
I've only, that's about all I know. I haven't seen any, pardon me, leaked YouTube streams of this, and I'm kind of going on the idea that it's a lot of outtakes, and one that I feel is hopefully pretty representative is from the bonus cuts from Pleased to Meet Me, which is Kick It In demo.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, check that out.
By the way,
yeah, go ahead.
just on the subject of the Pleased to Meet Me, the bonus tracks and whatnot, the unreleased stuff. The Tommy Stinson songs from that are, if nothing else, check out the Tommy Stinson songs because it's kind of amazing. Kind of, post Replacements, he had a band Bash and Pop, which was great. But this is this is like a good 4 years before that, or about 4 years before that. And he was just like right out of the gate, really good. Just like he shows up on the scene with just a couple of songs and he's just, Tommy Stinson is just super underrated, super great.
You heard it here.
If you are inclined to like the Replacements, definitely don't sleep on Tommy Stinson stuff.
Yeah, noted from a well-regarded Replacements expert. So
I'm not too modest. I'm not too immodest to accept that, I think.
There you go. Yeah, just take it, dude. And okay, so Replacements. I guess so. There's a Fontaines DC release that I don't know a lot about.
I like them.
Yeah, I know they're one of your bands. There's a Suede live album from 1993.
So we're not going to talk about the Fontaines.
I just don't know about anything about that release, but
well, for anybody, for any non-initiated with the Fontaines, with Fontaines DC, great band from Dublin. Really good, really excellent debut album in 2019. A couple of songs I love a lot. Boys in the Better Land and Liberty Bell, which they have live versions of those songs on this Record Store Day release. Like, this would be definitely one I would be looking for. Their second album, which I think probably sold a lot better, I don't like as much as the first one. That's the way things go, I guess.
That's how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
See what happens on the third one.
To round out the list, we've got a couple live albums. Suede live album from '93, which is, I guess, just right before their first album came out. That's promising to be good. And then
So you have
a,
Bernard Butler
a
and the whole.
yeah, and then a vinyl release of Live in Liverpool by Echo and the Bunnymen, which is a really great live set from 2001. So got some tracks on our playlist representative of those. 70s, 60s, we've got Small Faces, Cat Stevens, Elton John, Zombies and the Who. Jazz, we've got Miles Davis, Bill Evans. And I guess there's a Mudhoney Meat Puppets split 45, which is coming out. So those are Naomi's kind of heads up albums. And then Sean, what do you have on your list that maybe didn't get covered on that?
I don't have a long list this year. Like normally, my go-tos, you have the replacement stuff again this year, but normally there's a Wilco or an Uncle Tupelo thing, that I would need to get because I'm more of a completist there. Big Star doesn't have anything this year. No Alex Chilton stuff. Yeah, just because this was recently territory that we covered, Bob Dylan in the '80s. There is a Joker Man and I 7-inch that is being released. So
that's right, Reggae Dylan.
Maybe it is time to revisit that. Maybe it's time for everybody to do what we did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that song Joker Man came on just kind of a random Spotify playlist for me the other day, and I was really jamming on it. Like it came up the same day that I was listening to Aux Armes, etc. by Serge Gainsbourg. But maybe that's why. But Serge
Sure.
Gainsbourg's reggae album, so maybe it's like, oh, he likes reggae Serge, maybe he likes reggae Dylan.
Well, yeah, Joker Man isn't so much reggae inflected like his version of Precious Memories was.
I would disagree. It's got the upbeat strum, and it's got like I think there's some like really high tuned tom accents in there.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
We can both be right.
Well,
yeah.
The more I think about it, the more you're right on that. Yeah, so let's see. Beck has I think a remix of Hyperspace. I'm so there. It wasn't one of my favorite Beck albums or anything.
It's pretty good. Pulled some tracks off of that for a playlist. I think it's, for me, that flavor of Beck, like fun Beck rather than serious Beck, like morning phase Beck, is going to be overshadowed for a while by Modern Guilt, which is just such a solid, fun record.
Yeah, Modern Guilt's really good. Chemtrails, by the way, for anybody, anybody sleeping on Chemtrails or Modern Guilt as an album, go back and at least check out Chemtrails.
Yeah,
and one of his
Colors,
best songs.
Colors too has some hits on it, but yeah. But one thing I like about Beck is that sometimes I'm like, I'm not sure I'm that into it, and then 10 years later, I'm like, dude, the information, it's so good.
Yeah, and I've been a huge Beck fan since the early days.
Yeah,
but especially Odelay. When Odelay came out, then that completely sold me on Beck, and ever since then I've been like a pretty hardcore Beck fan.
Yeah, you another area of expertise from my friend and co-host Flick.
Let's see. So got some early Lemonheads. Hate Your Friends.
Oh, okay.
So this, let's see. Okay, so this is a yellow vinyl pressing. So I don't know. I wouldn't know if this is available on vinyl otherwise, but yeah, the whole colored vinyl pressing is not really something I go for. Yeah, but to each his own on that. But yeah, I'm more concerned about what is coming out of the vinyl than what color the vinyl is.
I'm a little bit of both, but I also have some like really beat up um, records that I found on my apartment building free bench that sound great to me, even though they're scratchy and like just bad pressings, you know. Um, and then I also have, you know, like audiophile 180 gram stuff. Uh, yeah. Anyway, have you, are you, did you check out this Fela Kuti record? It's called Open and Close, which is coming out for Record Store Day.
No.
Okay. Definitely encourage everyone to check out Open and Close. It's from 71, so it's you know, got a really tight iteration of Africa 70. It's gold. Sounds really good. So definitely looking for that. Uh, I've another kind of area of my expertise. I've got um, the Grateful Dead live box set from Lo Olympia, May 3rd, 1972.
Is that live stuff or?
Yeah, live from Paris on the Europe 72 tour. I think it's like I don't know, like 6 LPs or something, but
So like
how can
two
you
of the
not?
LPs are probably one song.
Yeah, whatever. No, it's a pretty cool version of the band. You know, Pigpen is still alive, so you've got kind of bluesy Dead, and then you've also got uh, some really tight versions of tunes like China Cat Sunflower, which I put on our list, on our Spotify playlist. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And then let's see, what else didn't we talk about? There's a cool 45, a solo acoustic version of Junko Partner by Joe Strummer. I did see there's a Clash record, but I think it's interview, uh, like band interviews or something, which I'm not really sure what to make of, but um, yeah, probably gonna go for the 45 rather than, you know, as much as I love the Clash, and I'm always curious to learn more about them, and will like read anything about them. Uh, yeah, probably more in line with what I'm up to these days. You know, nice tasty 45 Joe Strummer solo.
Yeah, that's intriguing. See, got a greatest hits Small Faces release. That should be cool. Small Faces always seem to have stuff on Record Store Day. Just it seems like a Record Store Day never goes by without at least a 7 inch from Small Faces 7 inch.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Let's see here. At Okay, 25th anniversary edition of Supergrass going out. That would be cool.
Whoa, cool. The first album?
No, the first album was Aishikoko,
Yeah.
unless I'm completely mental. But no, 25th. So I guess really this would be 26 because it was 1995, or I guess maybe it was 1996.
Ooh, yeah, this is such a, you know, Sean, I'm really feeling this band right now. The first album, the first lead off track on the self-titled Supergrass is Moving, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, from In It for the Money, I've been listening to Cheapskate for like I think 3 months straight. Um, on every playlist, like I make a monthly playlist, and I think the past 3 months have had Cheapskate from that album. So
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah, well,
love Supergrass.
I don't think I've put on a Supergrass album for like 10 years, so thanks for reminding me of these guys.
Yeah,
They're one of my faves for a long time.
good to keep them in rotation, I say.
Yeah.
Let's see, our buddy Jonathan Richman.
Jojo.
He Having a Party with Jonathan Richman is being released on vinyl. Kenny Loggins. Kenny Loggins at the Movies is
Because why not, right?
yeah, vinyl release of that. I mean, I think that that was already a compilation that was out in the CD era, right?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Well, the wrong guy is also asking the question, so I guess it's all is fair.
I would. Okay, this is gonna take a second. I would say that if anyone does find the Kenny Loggins 45 Meet Me Halfway, you got to buy it because no, really, the flip side is this Giorgio Moroder track, which is just like one of my favorite like analog electronic like kind of dance.
So Kenny Loggins didn't
Tunes.
get the B side on this. He just got the A side.
Just the A side, yeah, and it's a totally cool. It's such a cool tune that my wife Susan and I were at a brewery and there was a DJ there doing cool stuff, and he played that song, and we're both just like, wow, we got to find out what this is. And we talked to the guy. Let's see. Even the flip side of the 45 jacket doesn't have the tune on it. I think it is called one second. I don't know what it's called, but anyway, Giorgio Moroder, just one of his best tunes, and it's not on any. I guess there's kind of like a rights tie-up, so you can't find it on Spotify. I think you can find it on YouTube somewhere.
You know, since we kind of did a little sidebar there, went adjacent to the topic, I want to go adjacent to the topic as well today, since we're talking about record store purchases.
Yeah.
Today super hot, by the way, today, but that's apropos of nothing. But a lot of garage sales and yard sales going on in the area today, and I bought like a case worth of 8-track tapes, and the guy's collection was pretty interesting. Basically, I was able to just fill up the case with whatever, because that was what was negotiated with me.
Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and guess that a lot of it is Elvis Presley.
There was a lot of Elvis. Yeah, I didn't. I think maybe I have 2 Elvis 8-tracks in what I purchased, but there was a lot of Willie Nelson as well, and some Freddie Fender, which and Merle Haggard. So Merle Haggard is Bakersfield by way of Oklahoma, I know, but with Willie Nelson and Freddie Fender, is just like this. Almost wanted to ask the guy if he's from Texas or something. And Waylon Jennings, and then Rumors, because
yeah, of course,
because everybody had it, and then Led Zeppelin 1.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So it's just like the one that stuck out like a sore thumb was definitely the Led Zeppelin. Because I would say Rumors, you're never too surprised to see that in anybody's collection.
Nope.
But given everything else, because among what I didn't purchase, it was more country. Like Gatlin Brothers and stuff like that, and then Carpenters, and and then one Led Zeppelin 8-track.
I feel like country music and Elvis Presley really just like propped up the 8-track market for that 2.5 years that it was a thing, right?
Yeah, and it was a lot of Elvis gospel stuff too, and then Aloha from Hawaii, and a lot of gospel ones. Not so much the early stuff, but yeah. So.
Oh, and that Giorgio Moroder track is called Semifinal. So look for it wherever you find music that isn't streaming, probably on YouTube. Yeah.
That seems rather modest. It's not going for the championship, just the semis.
Because, participation.
Not the ultimate, but the penultimate.
That's right. So yeah, cool. On your 8-track haul, you have an 8-track player, I presume?
I got one. So like basically, the like what they had it set up for was all of these 8 tracks were in different boxes, and you couldn't really like mix and match them. And it would be like $5 per box of 8 tracks. I think about you're talking maybe about 12 to 15 8 tracks in a box. Um, and so that was for $5. But without me even having to ask, they said that I could just take a box, fill it with whichever 8 tracks I wanted, and then get a player as well, and that would be $5. So I got a
Nice.
box of 8 tracks and a player for $5. So
You stumbled into a gold mine, Sean.
yeah, I don't even know what to do with them. This is I shouldn't go to yard sales because I mean
You
if I
can't
see
control yourself.
if somebody has music to sell, I'm going to buy something whether I have use for it or not. So
Yeah, I'm not an 8-track guy anymore. I used to have an 8-track player. I think I used it a couple times, but
it's not a good format.
it's not a great format. No, it's kind of funny. So I think you have ironic 8-track purchases by some people, but I'm like that with cassette tapes. I think one of my favorite music related uh, finds at a garage sale ever was for 50 cents. I got this great, essentially like the size of a Walkman, but with a built-in speaker and also a record function. So, and that was with me as a companion for years. At practice spaces, you've got, you know, and you want to hear some tunes, put on your, tape of Echo and the Bunnymen that you laid off from LP, and that died. And then I went out and got another one just recently, and bring it with me down to the community garden so you can listen to Neil Young while you're planting tomatoes. It's gold.
Yeah. Yeah, so who knows what the future of that 8 track collection is, but it was interesting, like
You had to do it. Yeah.
yeah, and
And you're
at
not
least
sorry.
at
I'm not
least this
sorry.
I definitely wouldn't have been interested without being able to just pick whatever I wanted, so that I could have all of the Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson and get the Led Zeppelin one. Oh, and Born to Run. It also had Born to Run.
Whoa, on 8-track,
Um,
that's cool.
yeah, and then some Paul Simon stuff too. So yeah, um, it's a really good selection of stuff. I don't know that I see myself listening to any of that stuff in the 8 track format though. So practical? No, it definitely wasn't a practical purchase in any way.
Well, I'm seeing that that Born to Run 8-track on eBay is at least a $10 item.
Well, that's good because it's in really good shape too. So
And if
like
it's
it
demo, it could be 100.
like
So
it apparently was purchased from Columbia House, and it still had the extra cover. Like there's like an extra cardboard cover on it
ooh, that's
from
super
Columbia
rare, dude.
House.
Yeah.
So uh, well, it's good to hear. Yeah, because I just kind of bought it because I thought, well, that's kind of cool to see those in a format that you're not going to really see in the stores anywhere. So
Yeah, yeah, that one definitely has a timestamp on it. You talk about CDs having the manufacturing flaw of disc rot, where a CD is only, I guess, viable for about 30, 35 years or something. But yeah, 8-track tapes, even shorter lifespan. They're like a firefly. You gotta enjoy them while they're there.
yeah. The rumors did have tape, like some tape. What do you call it? The slack in the tape that the I'm not ever going to be able to listen to the rumors 8 track, but kind of felt like I had to include it in there anyway.
Yeah, you've already impressed one friend, other friends to follow.
Yeah. Um, Since we're kind of drifting away, to bring
Record
it
store
back
day. Focus.
to bring it back to Record Store Day, I before we wrap this up, I want to kind of go through any Record Store Day purchase memories that you or I have. Um, do you want to start, or should I kick it off?
Uh, I've had kind of, I wouldn't say like bad luck, but I just really haven't had like a neighborhood shop that I have allegiance to for a while. I really respect all the ones that I mentioned, especially Mod Lang. Um, but to get to a record shop in my neighborhood, you got to get on a bus or on BART.
Mhm.
Um, and I think back in the day in Iowa City and in Portland, I was on like first name basis with everyone because they're in the neighborhood, and just part of my daily routine is like, pop in and see if you can find like a used Gun Club LP or something. Uh, so yeah, I don't really have that in my neighborhood right now, which is too bad. But so yeah, I guess I don't really have any fun memories of Record Store Day, but yeah,
Mhm.
record stores uh, in my life have been very, very important to me, and a real anchor. I remember um, being, falling in with so many cool nerdy people like yourself. One of my best friends that is still a pal of mine today, this guy named Chad, Dr. Chad in Cedar Rapids, and I met him in a record store because he was and still is a Guided by Voices super fan, and he was in Record Collector passing off an advanced copy of, I think, Isolation Drills to Kirk, who sadly is no longer with us, the former owner of that shop. And then yeah, I mean, just from him liking the band and me liking the band, we were instant friends and still are. I remember in Ames, Iowa, where I was a youngster, having reliably nerdy friends, so much so that even though we lived many miles apart from each other, I could kind of sort of count on running into my buddy Ed at used CD stores, like People's or Disco Round or whatever. So yeah, really important part of memories of growing up and meeting friends, and still a really important part of how I relate to people and friends that I've made and kept.
Yeah. I
Oh, the chat is saying that they're very weepy, and this has been a very special episode of Left of the Dial podcast. LOTD.
yeah. I just to keep it Record Store Day specific, I do have quite a few purchases. Like actually so many that I'm going to forget like some of the big ones, um but yeah, I mean the ones that stick out in my mind immediately are like a few years ago there was a Chris Bell box set which I ended up getting the year after. So I think it was after I had lived in Des Moines for about a year, or no, yeah, would be like about a year into me living in Des Moines. I went to ZZZ Records on Record Store Day and found that the year after it was released on a Record Store Day. So it apparently had sat there for a full year, and I had not really gone there yet. But
That's a
but
big one. Yeah, that's cool. Those are
but
cool, cool tunes. Yeah.
yeah, crazy to find it, and it stayed free for which also suggests that maybe Des Moines isn't the hippest place in the world. But at any rate, I was the beneficiary of that because it stuck around for me to pick up a year later.
Nice.
Um, yeah, and let's see, I remember Ty Siegel with Tyrex, which was an EP of T-Rex covers.
Yeah.
Really, like really was my introduction to Ty Siegel in a big way, and made me an instant fan because Not easy to cover T-Rex, but he sure did a great job of it. And another one of my favorites, not a record. Uh, quite a few years ago, there was a Buck Owens coloring book, which when I heard about that, I'm like, I gotta have one of those, and I was lucky enough to get one. Um,
Okay, yeah, cool.
I don't really know, where the idea came from or whatever. I'm just glad it happened, and
Yeah, okay,
I
yeah.
cherish it. Let's see. Yeah, I mean there are a lot of them, a lot. But yeah, those and also the Big Star Third, like the big deluxe edition of that, which was great.
Essential, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, so many more, but those are the ones that just come to my mind immediately.
Cool, well, thank you for that. I think this has been a really great discovery of some cool new releases coming up on. Like I said before, top of the show, first Record Store Day drop is June 12th. The second is July 17th.
All right, well, be there or be square.
That's right.
But
Support your local record shop. Support your musicians who make it all happen. And it's okay to spend too much money on records because they're just such a special thing, and they're durable. Like we were talking about, a CD has a certain lifespan. An 8-track tape, like a significantly narrower window, but you can still play an LP if you take care of it 100 years from now.
that's right. In that time span, you might have to move your collection quite a few times, which is not fun, but worth it.
Worth it. All right. Well, I think we've really covered the topic, and I'm so glad that this is. I want to say to our listeners out there, this has been like an extra special show for Sean and I, because normally we tape kind of in the afternoons, but this is really cozy for me because, yeah, I'm still in Mercury Capsule Recording Studio, which is super tiny closed closet in Oakland, California. But we got to record while I'm drinking a coffee. So it's like, meeting up with your pals and just, chatting about cool music and Record Store Day while you're at the local cafe or something. So thanks for that, Sean. And as we mentioned earlier, our associated playlists for this podcast are available on Spotify. And anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
No, I think we've covered it pretty good. We even talked about 8-tracks, so we even went away from the format.
Yeah, man. That's what we do. Okay. Well, as always, Sean, it's a pleasure. This has been show 87, our Record Store Day special. And we'll be back next week with a mystery topic, so don't go anywhere.
The mystery will be solved.
The mystery will be solved. Yes.